Episode 5 is going into the supernatural, the world of fairies, and the evil that they do.
It's a very strange, different episode, very emotional.
It wasn't your dad that was in love with her all those years ago, was it? It's incredibly sad and moving.
They're not your everyday fairies, they're evil.
First time you're ever going to find Jack being scared, and this is it. Episode 5.
This one is a chance to delve into fairies and magic and the supernatural.
Fairies, you kidding me?
It allows the sort of Mulder and Scully of Jack and Gwen to come forward.
Fairies are shy, you see.
So it puts them in a nice role of believer and skeptic.
This episode is based on the Cottingley Fairies.
I wrote an essay on the Cottingley glass plate photographs when I was at school.
Gwen, she's kind of sceptical at the beginning about the whole fairyland.
Fairies aren't just those storybook Victorian sweet creatures. It's a dark world. It's ancient creatures in woodlands, existing under different rules.
I've had no report of any sighting.
You won't. These things come in under the radar. It's a pretty dark episode.
Come away, you human child.
I hadn't had a chance to write fantasy for a long time. There were no limits. It could just be as weird and as strange as possible. The stranger the landscape, the better.
Yeah, one of the hardest parts of this script was going to be to get a little girl in the lead role, and we auditioned 5,700 million little girls from South Wales, and there was Lara.
Who's picking you up, Jasmine?
Roy.
I counted my blessings on a regular basis about working with Lara because I think she's a genuine find as a child actress.
She's very weird and she's 7 and she's like creepy as well because she loves them, the fairies, and they love her.
Who are you waving at?
Just friends.
She's just lovely. There's nothing better than a creepy little schoolgirl on screen.
We went up to this primary school and we were filming there when the sort of storm descends on the playground. We had a massive wind machine, there was loads of people screaming, and you just sort of got caught up in it.
Well, I think I underestimated the wind machine. I think we all did. It's incredibly noisy.
It's really windy and all that. My friends get blown everywhere.
We had to be very careful with all the dust that was being kicked up and stuff, but the kids, they couldn't wait to use the wind machines. They wanted to be in every shot and they wanted it on full blast. They wanted to be blown across the road, pretty much. Yeah, they were psychos.
We always have the image in our minds that fairies are pretty and beautiful.
I wanted to take away the idea of bluebell hats and mushrooms.
Come away, you human child.
By turning it on its head, you provide fear and uncertainty.
Come away.
It's like your teddy bear becoming something threatening. By doing that, when you reverse the whole process, you provide fear, you provide conflict, and therefore you provide drama.
Oh, God, help me, please!
They use the elements to kill people. The rose petals are a wonderful idea.
Never seen anything like that before.
They're offering you something gentle and peaceful and beautiful and killing you with it.
It's a very great chance in this story to discover more about Jack's past, which is still a mysterious past, where we see that actually his timelessness is a literal thing, that we find him in Lahore in 1907.
We've had a real insight into something he's encountered quite a long time before, and this is coming back to haunt him.
And to see it again, it's time. They've come for their chosen one. This is one thing that Jack is afraid of.
If that's them, we have to find them before all hell breaks loose.
I think we learned quite a lot about Jack in this episode.
Sorry. No, that's my dad.
You glimpse more the loneliness of what it means if you can't die.
Be careful.
And the fact that he's loved. There's an ex-lover of him who has aged while he hasn't.
And I think she never knew that he did live forever. And her idea that they would grow old and die together was a lie on his part, but a very sad lie. And then taking her in his arms when she's an old lady, dead, and he wasn't there for her. I think it's a very moving moment, and he's left alone.
We once made a vow that we'd be with each other till we died.
Gwen learns a lot about Jack as she watches him go through this story.
We wanted a world that was very rooted.
I'll fetch you straight on from school this afternoon, Jazz. You don't want to miss our party, do you?
Very kind of, you know, normal mum and stepdad.
Do what your mum says.
You're not my dad.
I play the character of Roy. Now, Roy's he's a bit of a nasty man.
Don't you ever want to have a conversation with me? No wonder your dad left when you were a baby. He must have seen what was coming.
He's got a stepdaughter who's been the chosen one for the Shades, the Maras, the Fairies. Unfortunately for Roy, he decides to get in the way of the chosen one and the Fairies, and eventually gets himself killed, sadly.
Today is, I'd say, the biggest day of this block. This is the death of Roy, young Jasmine's revenge, and the culmination of the whole episode, really.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, this is a very special day.
We've got Wind Machine, crowd, stuntmen, so it's a busy day, busy day.
2 A and B cameras.
We've shown all the boys that are working and the actors the animation, but it's very hard to react to nothing and for everyone to look in the right place.
Of course it's very difficult to have to perform to nothing there, but as long as you've got your points and your marks, you've just really got to dig down into your imagination.
It's hard to imagine what is not there.
You do feel ridiculous, because, of course, there's nothing around you, so you're reacting to nothing at all. I mean, it's much easier, obviously, when you've got an actor opposite you, and you've got something to react to. When there isn't anything there, you're just going on the director saying action, and the first pretending to be, a shade or whatever.
I've no shame. So I'm quite happy to play the fairy and jump around and pretend to scare people, and I don't mind. It's good fun. It's good fun, and it also keeps the atmosphere light.
We got that all filmed.
Cut! Mucking about is sometimes part of the job.
I believe I get a hand thrust down my throat, which pulls the air from my body.
At the end, I think what we reinforce is what it's like, the price of being the leader. And sometimes that is making the unpopular decisions, it is making the hard decisions.
The child won't be harmed.
Jack, you can't.
Answer me! She won't be harmed!
I told you, she lives forever.
She goes freely with them at the end. And it's kind of creepy.
Thank you.
Jack is protecting the world. Had the girl pleaded not to go with the fairies, it would have been a different story altogether. Then he would have to have fought to keep her. But because she wanted to go, she preferred to be with them where she rightfully belonged. Then it seemed to me to be okay. And Jack could let her go, but with misgivings and a great deal of sorrow.
What else could I do?
The team just do not like him for it. They are in disgust that he's allowed this child to die. So it's a pretty heavy episode.
It's time to get a bit gory.
One word that I can put it into is wrong.
What is it? What's in there?
Terrifying.
Answer down.
What I know?
It is sick, disgusting.
Tell us what these creatures are.
Violent.
This is our little peek into the dark corners of the human soul.
Very Torchwood.